Welcome to 4D Sports. My name is Jair Forty, and my guests for today are Laura and Mario Rocha. We will be right back. Welcome back. My show for today is very exciting and interesting. We will be talking to Laura and Mario, excellent students, excellent athletes. So Laura, welcome to the show.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And Mario. Yeah, so I heard that you were a wrestler.
That is true, I am a wrestler.
So what can you tell us about that?
Well, what would you like to know?
Well, what type of competitions do you participated on?
Okay, well, most of the competitions that I participate in are co-ed. And so basically boys and girls wrestle together. There is no separation of sexes whatsoever. And I'll be competing in 3 or 4 girl tournaments, but very few. Most of them are co-ed.
And why wrestling?
I guess I picked wrestling because I had a history of doing contact sports like Taekwondo. And for me, it was just really interesting because it was a sport no other girl would really want to practice. It's my school, and I wanted to make a difference that way.
So when your parents heard that you were going to be wrestling, what were the thoughts?
At first, it was a very adamant, no, you are not going to practice this sport. Because at that point, I was 106, this tiny little skinny girl, and they were saying she's going to be potentially hurting herself because she's going to be wrestling with these guys. And so after some explaining and after some clearing up and everything, they finally accepted the fact that I wanted to practice a sport that was a little different from what was expected.
And how well accepted were you with the coaching staff and also with your teammates?
My teammates were very supporting. They were the big brothers I never had. They were very protective. They always were there for me, and my coaches, they were like my fathers. They were always pushing me to do my best, and whenever I wanted to just give up, they would be there and being all like, you know, you can do this, you're better than this, this is already the hardest part, so.
Usually we don't have an opportunity to see that a female is competing with males in sports. So, I mean, do you think that by you doing that, are you maybe empowering other female athletes, other female students to participate in events like this and maybe in different things?
Oh, definitely. People need to realize that your gender doesn't matter. If you can compete, and that's all that matters.
Wow. And Mario, I heard that you play soccer with the San Jose Earthquakes. How is that?
Well, that's tough because I'm 11 and I play with with people that are 13 and 14 years old. So that's pretty hard.
It's pretty hard. And the parents, are your parents okay with that? But playing with those big old babies out there, boys basically?
Well, yeah, I like to play at a higher level than I should. So I like competing against my body.
Now, and why do you like to play it on a higher level?
I don't know. It's fun because you try, and that's really what you do. You just try.
So what do you felt when you find out that you were asked to play for the San Jose Earthquakes?
Well, I was just happy. I can't explain it. I was just happy.
Yeah. And can you explain to us what the San Jose Earthquakes is? Because I mean, maybe some people somewhere out there do not know that much about the San Jose Earthquakes.
Well, they are a professional soccer team in the MLS, which is Major League Soccer for the United States, and they're just professional.
So what you're saying is that you woke up one day, and then the San Jose Earthquakes, they say, well, come up and play for us, or what happens? I mean, what has been the process?
Well, actually no, because you first have to try out, and then like 200 kids came out, and they were all very good. And it's like, it was hard, like trying out and everything. You had to do your best or else you wouldn't get in.
Wow. So Laura, you're going to Leland High School. how are you doing over there academically? Because that's basically what I'm very interested in.
Oh, I'm doing great academically. I'm being, have very good grades, and I'm a very responsible student.
And so far as I believe, you also do some extracurriculum activities at the high school.
Yes, I'm actually in the drama department, and I also do chamber choir.
Chamber choir, and sometimes you have gone to talk to the mayor.
Yes.
That's what I was told. I don't know if that's true.
Yes.
But, and what is it that you do when you go over there to talk to the mayor?
It's a selective program that the school does every year, like different schools from the Bay Area do, and teachers nominate students that they believe have leadership qualities and also that they think would handle this kind of maturity and also like do things to better their school. And each of these years I've gotten picked, and we go to City Hall and we talk about issues that young people face in our city and stuff that maybe council can do to improve our, kind of just to see what we think of our beautiful city.
And when you are over there and talking to the mayor, do you feel like at one point you might want to run the city?
Oh no, no, for me, I can't do
and why
politics.
not?
I feel like it's just, for me, it's something that I'm known for my very strong and very opinionated personality. And for me, sometimes I believe that I might be a little too opinionated for certain things to be running a city. So, I mean, I guess.
Well, but that means that you are not afraid of speaking to a public. So that's kind of nice. That's an excellent quality, public speaking. And that's basically what we're doing over here. So you're doing very nice.
Oh,
so I can see you over there as a mayor of a city in the future. That's my take. Yeah, so Mario, talk to us about the Castillero school.
Well, it's just, I'm in 6th grade and I've been trying to get my grades up and just doing good.
And how can you manage going to the school and practicing and training at the level that you are with the San Jose Earthquakes? Is it difficult to do, or is it easy for you to do?
Well, it's just basically a really tight schedule because I first have to I end school at 4, and then I go to homework center for an hour and do all my homework over there, and then straight there I go to soccer practice.
So you must be the little superstar over there at your school.
Well,
that's what I heard. I heard that you have a lot of people that are following you around and all of that. So, I mean, can you tell us about that? How does it feel for somebody to say you're doing something great?
Well, it feels really good because, I don't know, I think because I try to encourage people to do good, to be a good athlete and do good in school. And well, my friend Brendan and I are the ones that play in the Earthquakes. So we just hang out and I don't know, I guess people follow us.
Oof, that's wonderful when people start following you. You're up to something right there. Yeah. So what can you tell somebody of your age that is thinking about participating maybe with the Earthquakes program in the future?
Well, I just tell them to try their hardest and just do what they got to do.
And don't forget to do well academically.
Yeah.
Laura, your history and your parents' history is something that is very peculiar. I mean, I'm very interested on knowing a little bit more about that because if I believe they came from another country and they have done so wonderful with the two of you. So can you take us back to that time when you came over here when you were about 3 years old?
Okay. I was born in Bogota, Colombia, as my parents were both born in Colombia, and I came here to the United States when I was 3.5 years old. We came from Colombia because we were not doing well financially there. And in Colombia, public education, you're supposed to pay for it. And since we were not doing well financially, and I was to start school soon in terms of what is in Colombia's standards, we did not have the money to pay for my education. My parents made a big sacrifice because they did not want me to live an ignorant life. So we came here with just the clothes on our backs, and we just tried to make the best of what we have here, and now we're living comfortably, and we're extremely happy.
Wow, that's amazing that that the parents have to make those tough decisions, and then finally we can see the end result of all of the hard work that they have put out. In terms of other activities that you have done, I believe that you also have been a model.
Yes, I actually did some modeling while also paralleling my wrestling career. it was very interesting getting reactions from people because like the day after my tournament, I would wake up and then I'd have to go to a certain studio where they were doing a small photo shoot. And it's funny when I would get the people who did my makeup, their reaction when they saw bruises on me, and they were like, "What do you do?" And I told them my story. Oh, I do Greco-Roman wrestling, and I do it for my high school team. And no one believes me. They're like, "What? No." And if you look at the pictures and you also look at me as a competitor, you would not be able to tell that they were the same person.
Well, I mean, I will not be able to tell, but I cannot believe that you can flip somebody on the mat and then at the same time you go ahead and wear your little high-heeled shoes with your dresses and all of that. So that must be interesting. And you are the only one that can get that thing done. So how modeling came into the picture?
Modeling came into the picture because one of my aunts she's the owner of a small party planning company. And this party planning company opened a branch in dressmaking. So when they opened this branch in dressmaking, they said we needed some pretty girls who, you know, look good in front of a camera. And at first I was hesitant because I wasn't that kind of girl to do that. And then with much persuasion and also in part of the Bay Area Quinceañera magazine, they said, you know, you should try out, see how you like it, see how you feel. And I did, and from then on, every time they had a small photo shoot or a little runway show in a convention somewhere in Watsonville or in some other small town, I would go and I would participate, and I guess I just got stuck with it ever since.
So you guys tried to keep everything within the family then?
Yeah.
That's amazing. You're also a senior right now, so what are your plans?
Right now, my plans is to, I'm going to take things step by step. I'm thinking of finishing my prerequisites in West Valley Community College. And then after that, I actually got accepted into a spot from a prestigious art school in Chicago named Pratt. And I'm thinking that after I finish my prerequisites, I want to transfer over to Pratt and major in journalism and also minor in theater and music.
Wow, that's outstanding. That's outstanding, especially when you see the progression of coming from one country and now you're getting ready to go to a university and you have all of these other opportunities they're coming to you. Are you going to do wrestling at the university level or at the junior college?
Unfortunately, no, because of budget cuts in West Valley Community College. They used to have a wrestling team, but now they don't anymore. And since Pratt is an art school, it doesn't really have a focus on athletics. So unfortunately, my wrestling career ends when I graduate high school.
Well, it's so sad for all of us to see that the state is in such a difficult situation right now economically. But I mean, I think that what you have gained from wrestling, you can transfer easily into your daily life. What are some of those qualities that you might be able to transfer? Leadership might be one of them.
Leadership, and also you have to have perseverance that is abnormal from your regular person, because the sport, it takes a lot out of you, but you also put so much into it that this sport, it's its own gratification. You have to be extremely perseverant and intelligent, and you have to be quick on your feet. That's just what the sport demands, and it bleeds into your own life. You have to be very strategic, and you have to you can't give up. Whatever goals you've got set for yourself, you got to finish them no matter what.
No matter what, and that's basically what we're coming back to. Mario, what are your goals? I mean, what are your aspirations?
Well, my goals are really just to be a professional soccer player, and while I'm at it, I want to be a doctor. I want to study medicine. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And in terms of becoming a professional athlete, I think that you are almost on your way. You go with the professional team over here in San Jose, the San Jose Earthquakes, and it's very interesting to know that you have you're playing with the youth programs already. And that's amazing. But what can you tell me about your dad? Because I think that your dad plays soccer in another country.
Well, my dad was my big inspiration. That really he trained me. I started when I was 5 because he told me to try the sport out, and I just couldn't stop playing it.
And what team did he play for in Colombia?
He played for the Millonarios in Colombia.
In Millonarios? Wow, that's amazing. For most people, Millonarios was one of the big time teams in Latin America at one point. But Laura, guess what? This is what I want to know. Because I mean, we're talking about wrestling. We know how wrestling is. How did the opposition took it when you came into the mat? Because I remember an article someplace where some individuals did not want to compete against a female.
Well, the great thing about the sport is that when you get on that mat, you're not seen as a girl, you're not seen as a boy, you're not seen by your size, you are seen as a competitor. Every time I've gotten on that mat and I had to face a boy, that boy did not see me as a girl on the mat. He saw me as another wrestler, and he competed with me as another wrestler should, just as though I was any other boy. And that to me was the greatest satisfaction and such a wonderful surprise from the boys to see that we're going to take you seriously because we don't know how strong you are, we don't know your ability, and that's just something that's extremely awesome to know that you're not seen as just a girl, you're seen as a competitor.
So what happens that moment where you defeated a male competitor for the first time?
For the first time, it was a very unreal experience. It was, for me, probably one of the happiest days of my life. And it was just to know that my work had paid off. Like, I saw all of my strength, all of the time that I've sacrificed and everything just in that moment has all paid off. And for me, it was a dream. It was unreal.
It was it because you won the match, or was it because you defeated the male competitor?
I think it was a bit. I think it was more of both.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's basically what happens. I think that all of those experiences that you have over there in wrestling, I think that they're playing out very well. I mean, when I look at what you're doing, and both of you, when I see how far you have come, because I mean, I have known you a little bit. I've been following your careers a little bit. So I'm very proud to know that you guys have done so well. But in terms of you guys have spoken about yourselves, but what can you tell us about a little bit about your dad and your mom? Because I mean, that's the other kind of the other part of the story that I want to know.
My parents, oh man, my parents are they're the people that I look up to. They are so strong, and my father and my mother taught me to be the woman I am today, to not limit myself because somebody told me that I can't do something, and also to be dependent on myself, and that if I can do something, I can do it myself, and just to be the best that I can be, because my parents are that way. They have very headstrong personalities, and I think that's what I get from them, and I'm just a no-nonsense type of person, and I thank my parents because of it.
Yeah, Mario, what can you tell us about that?
Well, she basically said it all. Like, I was about to say that, but they're just like, they're constant. They don't give up easily. They really don't ever give up, so.
And how does it feel to be living in two different worlds? One is the American society, and also the other one is the Latin American society, because you had relatives in both sizes and all of that. So how did that play out?
Well, it was for the first time that I had to actually kind of just stay with my Latin American culture, like with my family that is in Colombia. It was a bit of a culture shock because I've lived here for 10 years and I am more drawn towards the American culture than the Latin American culture. Although we do, we speak Spanish at home. My mom makes, meals from our country and everything. It still didn't prepare me for how people behave there socially. And at first it was a little hard, but you get the hang of it and then you just start becoming one of them. And it's something that I learn now to easily juggle.
So what are those differences that you were talking about?
The differences between here and Colombia, the people over there are very warm, they're very friendly, neighborly, and it's always a party. People are always, out and about and just very social, and everything's just a party for them. It's very...
And Mario, have you been able to experience that so far or no?
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so what is it, one of those experiences that you can bring and tell us?
Well, basically we just celebrate as a family every New Year's Eve. We just spend it as a family and we just dance, and it's basically a party.
It's a party, yeah. It's a party. About Leland, what can you tell us about Leland now?
Leland is a public school, obviously, Leland High School. It's located in Almaden, and it's very athletic, and it's not much of an art magnet school. It's more into athletics and math and science. Very academic school, very great school.
Yeah, you have done. This is what amazes me about you. You have done sports. You well academically, and also you drawing.
Yes.
Can you tell us? I mean, just come on, talk to me, talk to me. Because I think like you're holding back. You're holding back on me, and come on.
Before wrestling, before sports, I was always an artist. Ever since, even when I was 5, the first thing I picked up was a pen, and I started just drawing. And to this day, I still draw. And for me, drawing has been something that has been a therapy and a way of expressing myself, and also just just fun. It's fun for me because I get to be creative and I get to create new things and stuff that people haven't thought of and just put it on paper. It's really an awesome experience for me.
So what type of art are you pleasing?
My type of art is comic book art. I like doing a lot of superheroes and making up characters and writing stories for them. And also I like the concept of surrealism. My favorite artist is Salvador Dali because of all of his symbolism and how everything is so crazy. But if you really just dissect the painting or the portrait that he made one by one, you can see that there's a lot of reasons why he made these paintings the way they were.
So you transform yourself when you see the painting. And what about the books? Or you're writing something too?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about you, Laura. Come on, talk to us.
I am every facet of art. I'm actually working on 2 stories.
You're working on 2 stories. Yes.
I actually have one story where I'm working with another friend of mine who also wants to be a writer, and it's a post-apocalyptic story about 3 people trying to survive. And I'm also writing a story that is by myself, and it's the story about it's a pretty interesting story. It's about a woman trying to escape her hometown and her job being in a funeral home, and this man who comes from the city, and it's not a romantic story, but it's kind of like an action sci-fi sort of story.
So who's running you out of town? I mean, so where are all of these ideas come from?
They come from my head. Ever since I was a very imaginative child when I was little, and I would read books like Harry Potter and a lot of fantasy stuff. So I guess I fed off of that creativity, and I also made it my own.
I guess when you ask a question like that, you deserve the answer that you get it. Yeah. Well, anyway, but yeah, no, that's nice though. So are you almost close to publishing any of them, or not yet?
Well, actually, I have just recently started the 2 stories, but the one about the woman is freshly made. It was like I started writing it 2 days ago, but between me and my friends, since we both have things we have to dedicate to, it takes some time to send each other parts that we would like to include in the story. So we put a dent in it, but we're so far from publishing it right now. Well,
but at least you're doing it. So how many of those characters have pieces of people that you know, relatives, friends?
It's really interesting because we actually do base our characters off of people that we know, and right now what me and my friend had decided was that the 2 main characters were parallel to me and him, and how our friendship works and how we associate with other people. And it's more of kind of like a therapy for me, kind of to see what kind of person I am. It's really fun, it really is.
Wow, so I'm glad that we are friends, but we're not as friends that close. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in one of your pieces. But you never know. You never know. So Mario,
Yes.
Mario, I liked one of the things that I like about you, Mario, is that from such a young age, I mean, you have shown a lot of dedication for the sports that you play. You have been very committed to the sport, and you're very talented. You know what I mean? You heard it already here. I mean, he's talented because it takes a lot from one player of that age to be playing higher. You're playing with the 14s, yeah, the under 14s right now, and you only what 11 years old. I mean, that's outstanding. So I mean, I feel that the future is looks very bright. So just continue to do what you do over there on the field. And do you guys have any tournaments coming up with the San Jose Earthquakes, or
Well,
this is it?
we have a futsal tournament coming up, so that'll be fun.
And you just won a championship also a few days ago.
Yeah, the CYSL.
So can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because people needs to know.
Well, CYSL is just like a league that just like that teams from California just play, and then like the championships. We're gonna get my plaque today, and after this I have to go get my plaque. So.
And I believe that after this you got to go back and train, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, by winning, that was the first championship that you won with the San Jose Earthquakes, or have you won a few more?
No, I think that's our first one.
That's the first one, and how you felt about that one?
Well, it was actually kind of exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of like I have arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to be strong for the next season? Because there's a lot of people coming trying to take your spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay strong.
You want to stay strong, okay?
Yes.
So you're training away from the club also, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Laura, Mario, thank you. What camera? Laura, Mario. I was looking at the camera, but that's fine. Laura, Mario, thank you for coming. This is Jair 40, and I'm your host for 4D Sports. Thank you for watching.